Hi, Mike.
Hey, Vivek.
This is Vivek, your Mike, my mentor. Thank you so much for being my mentor.
Oh, you got it, Vivek. My pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the classroom expectation, routine, the learning standards, units, and objectives that I will cover. That I actually covered last week because my school started last week, so I'll be I'll be talking in past days. Okay, so what I've done for classroom expectations, I've asked my students to not write like in the past I did. Everybody writing a contract, this and that, what they will do and how they will do. But this year, to make it short, I've asked them how can Mr. Gupta help you, and how will you help Mr. Gupta? So this was my question, and they wrote whatever they thought that how can I help them, and how will they help me in class? So that set up the classroom expectations pretty well, I think. Yeah. So yeah, so far it's going well. I have my schedule in.
And when you were doing the classroom expectations, did you write that? Were you writing it on the board or?
They just wrote to me on Google Doc and turned it in as a classroom assignment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's on the Google Doc. So I'm gonna.
So it's written somewhere. They've seen it written down.
Yes.
They know what the expectations are, clearly spelled out.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So some of them are being in time, bringing their computers, charge, be prepared for classroom, doing their homework, and being respectful to their classmates and stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Mike. Thank you once again.
All right, Vivek. Look forward to working with you this year.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks. Yeah, and so I'll be teaching grade 6 math, grade 7 math, grade 8 algebra, and grade 8 curriculum needs to be like combined, and science 6 and 7 is together because we don't have enough students, and grade 8 science. So these are my 5 classes, and I will be seeing them 4 times a week. Once one lesson is about an hour long. Yeah, so that's good. That was my schedule. Regarding the units, I talked to Mr. Waugh, our principal, for science to sync in with high school. Things that we do in middle school should not be repeated in high school, or the experiences they need in middle school to get to high school. So we discussed and we have made a sound curriculum. The units have aligned properly, like what they are able to pick up in 6th grade, and some biology, and some physics and chemistry and physical science. All those things were coming together in case of sciences. Well, for mathematics, the units are already there, as we are already using rope curriculum that was in school from before. But for algebra 1 and grade 8, I'll be designing a good mix so that when they go to geometry and algebra 2 in future, they don't have much trouble. Yeah. So yeah, those are for my units. For the first week, I'll be teaching. I'll basically in mathematics, I'll be doing diagnostics to find out gaps in students' learning. So I have already been finding, because some students are coming from different schools, they don't interpret the multiplication sign, and some of them did addition, and they did not understand few things like pandas, and already there were so many gaps. So I'm trying to fix those first. So as we go further, that we don't have those issues, and I don't have to keep coming back. Or instead of going forward, in the past I've seen that I have to keep coming back. So I don't want to come back and like rewind and teach again and again. And
That's
again.
a great strategy.
Yeah.
Identify students
Yeah.
prior learning.
So it was taking too much time to do the diagnostics, because many of them were, I was expecting them to finish it in 5 minutes, but they're taking like 15, 20 minutes. So it's taking too much of the class time. So looking at what's going on in the classroom and what's not going well. What's going well, I have to change the plan. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna give I have already started to give those diagnostic as homework, and I've asked students, if you're getting a score, there are 10 questions in there. So if they get a score of less than 8, they need to figure those things out anyhow, and they can redo as many times till they get the score of 8 or above. So uh, Friday was the last day when I uploaded the homework. They were not aware, so we did in class. But now we are gonna expect the students to do for homework. I think the students were into it, and hopefully they will fill up those gaps that will restrict me or refrain me from teaching them further. So that's the plan.
Good.
Yeah.
And what standards are you using for math?
For we use Common Core standards, and for science it's Arrow or Aero, one of those Aero standards, I guess. Yeah.
Along with the new NGSS.
Yes, NGSS. Yeah. So this is all tied in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. The objectives of my teaching is for 8th graders is for them to be able to go to 9th grade and have no problems to meet all the standards. Uh, and same for 6th and 7th maths and sciences. For science, I want them to be able to be higher level thinkers, to have hands-on experience, to be able to build certain things, because with students in middle school, they are not very equipped to take instructions or lecture. So it's more like written content, PowerPoint, so that they can, or videos, so that they can go back and learn at their own pace. And some of them have issues with the language, so they are using Google Translate to put the instruction in Google Translate, and it give them in French, because Mali is a French-speaking country. So and that's working well, and students are understanding, especially
And they're able to quickly translate and
Yeah.
act on that.
Yes, yes. Or at times I would ask my other students who spoke both English and understood English to have a dialogue with the French speaker and convert that language or instruction in French for them. Yeah. And so it was a bit of a challenging week regarding technology and non-English speakers, but I think it's all coming together very quickly. Yeah.
And then have you been stating clearly the objectives of the day, of the lesson, so the kids are coming in, they know what's expected of them, they know what they should learn during this class, and then build on that?
Yeah, so far the attendance was very poor, so I just kind of we just had like about a week of class, and so in those classes it was just like problem solving questions. So I'm gonna build on that. I haven't got to that part, but yeah, every lesson will have an objective, and students will be told this is what expected of you.
Good.
Yeah. So we have set Google Classroom. They all have access, and for mathematics, for students lagging behind, they have access to IXL also. So they will be using IXL at home or at school, so they can practice and master the unit. Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike, I have some questions for you. If you have any for me, do you have any questions?
No, I think you've had a successful. From the time I've checked in with you this week, everything sounds like it's going well. You're adjusting well to the school. You're setting your role in the classroom. So it seems like you're really fitting in quite well.
Okay. That's great to hear. Thank you. Now, so we have been asked to ask you whether you have access to the INTAC INTSC rubric on which you will be evaluating. If you don't have access, I can provide you.
So I do have access. You shared the documents, all the necessary documents with me. I've been through them a couple
Great.
of times.
So you will be observing my classes once a week, and if we will need to discuss which block is suitable for you, and accordingly we'll work that out. Also, you you will need to know how to upload the rubric, like evaluated rubric. So, do you have any clue or?
So that I'm not sure on.
Okay.
I'd like to sit down with you sometime
Okay.
next week and
Okay, even I will need to look that up and maybe ask the Teach Now folks how to get through that